Now, you've been very forthright in your investigation of this administration with the Muslim Brotherhood. Where do you think we're going right now with the infiltration into all of our agencies?
I think, again, this administration in some ways has had an effective policy, other ways is overlooking the threat of Islamic terrorism. The president doesn't want to use the word terrorism. He still calls Fort Hood a workplace disaster or a workplace incident. So no, this administration does not have a thorough grasp of the issue.
And now we see that Al-Qaeda has grown. Al-Qaeda now is in about 30 different countries throughout the world. What do you think that Mitt Romney can do to alleviate this problem and address this problem?
The main thing you do to address it is by acknowledging and telling the American people that it's there. Unlike with President Obama, who says that Al-Qaeda is defeated, Al-Qaeda is on the ropes, Al-Qaeda is retreating. The fact is, Al-Qaeda in many ways is stronger than it was before, because it has all these splinter groups. Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, we can go through the whole list of them. And as a result of that, he will realize that war has to be fought. It has to be fought here, it has to be fought there. We have to stay aggressive, and we have to let the American people know that, because otherwise, if something does happen, God forbid, and we have to respond, the American people won't know what it's about. They should realize this war is still on, it's as dangerous as it ever was, in fact, maybe even more so.
Now with Benghazi, we know that there have been many problems. We have a former CIA agent who's mentioned that our former ambassador could have been rescued within 30 minutes. This was broken on Fox News. How do you feel about that? What could we have done? And is Obama going to be held accountable for this?
Well, obviously that has to be fully investigated. I mean, that whole issue with the drone, what the drone saw, the fact that our forces could have been alerted. Again, whether it could have happened or not, it certainly has to be looked into very, very carefully.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank
now,
you.
sir, how can we explain to the American public that Al-Qaeda, the Muslim Brotherhood, Al-Ansari are all of the same ideology? The only thing that separates them is tactics.
Right. Yeah, and that's why it's so important for the president to make it clear to the American people that this war against Al-Qaeda is going to be a long struggle. And just because bin Laden was killed, which was very important, but in the big picture, it does not mean that much at this stage, because Al-Qaeda had already changed its tactics. It was very important symbolically, and it was very important morale-wise. But as far as actual tactics and strategy, Al-Qaeda had already morphed and metastasized, and was spreading itself around, and the president, unfortunately, doesn't want to tell that to the American people.
Right. Now, the Muslim Brotherhood, tactic-wise, the only thing that separates them from Al-Qaeda is they come to America wearing Armani suits. How do you believe that the Muslim Brotherhood should be put on the foreign terrorist organization list?
No, I wouldn't say that at this time. I think it should be monitored carefully, and there is an analysis going on Muslim. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want too much detail on the Muslim Brotherhood.
Congressman,
I'm very concerned about them in Egypt. Yeah.
How does Iran play tonight?
Iran is has to be the most pressing issue to the U.S., obviously. And President Obama has to somehow explain his policy as to why he allowed relations with Israel to become so torn. And I think Governor Romney will be able to show that it was really a failure of leadership in the whole Middle East, including Iran, and beginning when the president went and made what we call his apology tour in the summer of '09. And set up an equivalency almost between Iranian nuclear weapons and Israeli settlements.
The report over the weekend that Iran wants to engage in negotiations or discussions, even though the White House has put that down, it does seem to reinforce the idea that sanctions are working. Does that put Romney in a tough spot?
Well, first of all, if these were secret talks, had to be somebody in the White House who leaked it. So it raises questions how they leak something which is supposed to be a top national security matter the day before a debate. Secondly, there's always talks going on with adversaries at different levels. We have no idea how high these are. One thing that is significant, though, is the Israelis are already putting distance between themselves and expressing their certainly real questions about those talks.
Do you believe the sanctions are working?
Sanctions are working. I don't believe they're working quickly enough, though, to stop Iran.
Do you believe the Iranian Shiite community has given U.S. foreign policy any inclination that they can be dealt with as an honest partner?
Well, certainly I don't think the mullahs can. But again, no matter who the president has the right to conduct his foreign policy. And I'm not going to say that private talks are wrong per se. I'm just saying that I question why this was released the night before a foreign policy event.
Got time for one more here.